the method calling sequence. Right? The first one is create and read and update and delete. So these are the four methods, the usual methods. So create init value. This is one-time call. Remember, init value is one-time call, and the next one is validateWrite, and the next one is insert, and the next one is AOS validate insert. You know, a lot of guys don't worry about this AOS methods because even a lot of guys don't care because anyways we don't write anything in that. I was kind of showing what is AOS validate insert and what it will do, but yeah, people don't worry about that method. And the next one is read. People never care about this method because it is about reading, and will always provide read stuff. And read is not given only if you don't have permission. I'll tell you what is permission and how to assign the role, security, all those things when we go to the security. But till then, just remember we read and we don't modify any code in this one. Instead, AX will take care. Whether it has got permission, the user has got permission or not, AX will take care. And the next we didn't see right for update and delete. We went through the delete, validate, delete, and delete, and the AOS validate delete. So these are the methods we went through, and we know how they are working and what we need to do in each of them. Remember, the validations should be done, or validation code should be written in AOS, validate delete or validate write or validate kind of methods. Okay, you don't need to write any code in AOS validate delete unless you suspect people may use do delete or do insert or do update, and you have to keep one hard rule saying it should be validated always, even if we try with do delete or something. But you should give always some option to the developer to bypass, because sometimes or most of the times we need to bypass. That is some kind of requirement. As I told you one case. So don't try to use these hard validations. Okay, everyone will follow the best practice. I told you how to insert the values, and I have shown you one piece of code where we called init value, validateWrite, and insert ourselves, and that is best practice. People will follow the best practice. If they are not following, it is their problem, right? So you can add the code in validateWrite or validate delete instead of AOS validations. And back to the AOS validate read, we don't need to worry for writing the code because we don't validate anything related to the read unless you want to restrict the reading. So don't do that because reading is like primary requirement for all the people, and we'll give read operation to a lot of things. If we don't want to give read operation, we'll simply disable that menu item for those guys. We'll simply don't show that information, and if we show, they'll come and ask saying it is throwing error to me. So we don't show that. And if we don't show, they don't know that it is there. When they don't know that it is there, they don't speak about that. That is how the security is going to go, right? So yeah, we'll come back to the security later. But for now, we want to see the update. What methods are called for the update? That is the point here. Now I have a lot of methods here. Whatever we want, I'm writing a couple of methods. Override for validation of the update. You don't have any validate update here. Was there? The method which is used for validation of the update is again validateWrite. Remember, if you want to update a record, whenever you try to open the record and modify something, the method which is called before saving for update is validateWrite. And you don't have any method called as validate update for the update. ValidateWrite is before writing the record into the database. And you can use validateWrite for inserting as well as updating. You may ask, oh, why I'm using validateWrite for inserting and updating? Because you are going to check the same thing for insert and update, right? If it is current account, you are going to check for table whether it should be current account or not. That's it, as simple as that. If it is not current account, you will throw the error because this is current table. This is current account table. If it is current account or not, whether it is a new insert or whether it is an update, you are going to check the same thing, right? And if it is a new insert, the next method it will go to is your insert method. If it is an update, meaning the existing record is updated. It will call the method. The method is update method. So this is one new method you have to understand. Update method, what I'm going to do? What is the requirement of this update method? The update method is called whenever you are trying to update a record. Okay. Say for example, you are working with a customer record. You are trying to change his address. And what should happen? It has to give a new entry or update the existing entry in the address book table. I mean, you'll have some tables like DR party, DR logistics postal address, DR party, logistics postal city, postal pin, postal zip, postal X, postal Y, postal Z. You have a lot of tables. You can just go to Application Explorer and watch. And yeah, you may ask sometimes, oh, how you know all these tables? I worked for 10 years, ma'am. Okay, and I'll remember few table names. And trust me, by the completion of this course, you don't remember all the tables, but you'll understand how to find the tables. And if you work more, you will remember the tables. As simple as that, right? I worked for a lot of time. I'm able to remember the table names. And if you work for maybe 6 months or 1 year, you will remember a lot of table names because every day we do the same thing. We work with some of the other tables. Don't worry, right? And yeah, so that's about your update. And as I told you, we are going to update some stuff. Let us understand one small thing. Like say if I'm trying to update the minimum balance, how I'm going to update the transaction table. Okay, assume this is transaction table because I don't know whether transaction table is there or not there, and I really don't want to create a transaction table wasting our time. Okay, if I update the amount, I'm going to update the record in the fixed account table. Assume this is transaction. Okay. So now how we'll do? We'll check now, right? So I'll take this VPB underscore bank first fixed account. Oh, VPB three underscore, right? VPB three underscore bank first fixed account table, first table, and now I want to check whether I'm updating the old value or not, right? So how to check that? You have two things to verify. First thing is, I just want to make a note here. Once super is done, the value is updated. You'll not have old value and new value. If you want to check the old value and new value, you have only one way. Check before the super. So once super is done, the record is updated. You may not get the old or new value separately. You will get only new value because the record is updated. So how should I check whether it is old value is updated or not? You have to check above super only. You got the point? The people who are not able to understand the difference between, what is the use of super? Super will do the actual operation. If you want to check whether the value is updated or not, some value, you have to write the code above super. How I'm going to check? If this dot, if you say the value as, what is the value of the minimum balance, it will give you the new value. This dot minimum balance will give you the new value. I want to check with the old value. How to get the old value? This dot ORIG will give you the original value. So I hope you are clear now. How to get the old value? ORIG will give you the old value. This dot ORIG dot, oh man, where is this minimum balance? Is that minimum balance or not? 1 second. That area is there and other fields are there. Why it is not giving my minimum balance? First account. Why it is not giving any fields? Oh, 1 second, let me check. I want to just check this one. What? Fields and the test ID. It's giving only one field. Why? Maybe this is the first time I'm watching this. Just 1 second. Oh, whether this is changed or something happened. I think it's been, I'm sorry. I never verified this. Possibly something got changed. Okay, fine. Let me tell you how this stuff is going to work. Okay, I just don't want to slow down the class. So we are going to check using the this dot or ig dot minimum balance, and yeah, I'm going to check this one more time to see what is the difference because I missed this one alone. Okay, I'm going to check this, but yeah, we want to check the old value. This will get your old value, and your this dot or ig dot minimum balance, sorry, your this dot or ig dot minimum balance will get the old value, and your this dot minimum balance will get the new value. That's how the stuff is going to work, right? Org is used for getting the original record, which is not yet updated. And you may ask, before super, we should have the original value, right? No, you already changed the field value. That's the point here. When you already changed the field value and you didn't save, still it is not saved. So you will have two things in the record. The first one is something in the database, that something is your original value, and you are going to have the minimum balance in the actual table, right? I mean, the buffer, whatever, whenever you open the table browser, you are going to have this dot minimum balance. The actual value you will find with this dot minimum balance, but the original value which is there in the database, it is still old value because super is not yet there. And you are going to see those two values using this way. You can compare these two values and you can try to do whatever the operation you want. Say for example, I want to select the cust table record, and this cust table where one second, where cust table dot customer id double equals what is that, this dot customer id. Now you can set the minimum balance or do some operation whatever you need. Cust table dot minimum balance equals to this dot minimum balance, and cust table dot to update or whatever the method. I'm just trying to update my other table also based on the current value change. And we'll try to build. I think it is just not showing this one, but yeah, it should be there in the org dot, right? So we'll build. We'll see if there is any error with this one. If there is any error, that this cust ID is updated. If I put the code above super, if for any reason super throws error, it will display cust ID 123 is updated. Now, what is this double equals to? I don't want double equals if it is not equals. If it is double equal, I'm saying if it is equal, right? So one second, I'll speak about that one. So right, someone was asking if I keep the code above super, if we have some problem. I mean, am I going to insert the record in the parent table and I'll lose the record in the child table. Sorry, I'm going to lose the record in the child table, but I'm going to insert the record in the parent table, right? This is what they're saying. There are two things here. First, we are updating your right. The second one is if you suspect that kind of stuff, you can keep the whole stuff in transaction. So after super is done, you can commit. So if you suspect that kind of situation, I don't suspect for my case, but yeah, if you suspect, you can check that. Oh, that's good, right? Thank you for the good catch. It is not double equals here, should be single equals, right? So the person who pinged the query here is saying, I'm trying to update above super. If something goes wrong with this code, no problem. But if something goes wrong here, it will still update my child table or the other table, right? So that's why you can always handle the transaction for both of these. Now, if transaction 1 and transaction 2 is successful, then it's going to commit. If one of them fails, it will roll back, it will throw the error back to the kernel or from there. So you will not have problem, right? So that's one thing. But yeah, we don't need to worry here. I'm confident for now. So I'm removing and you can add this. It is up to you. You can add anywhere. I'm not saying don't add. You may ask why you are removing. If you suspect that, I'll add. Okay, but it's not mandatory in my case because I know what I'm doing, right? So that's one thing. And the second thing is before I call update, I'll keep the transaction here. So that's one more thing. Usually I don't keep in the table methods this TTS begin and commit. I'm going to call this method from somewhere, right, form or table or class or whatever it is. I can keep there also, right? So it's going to work. Now back to the next one. If you watch here, this dot minimum balance will get the current value in the buffer. This dot org dot minimum balance will get the actual value which is there in the database. And after super, there is no buffer database, blah, 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 two things. You are going to have only one thing, and you are going to get only one thing. Your this dot org will give, this dot minimum balance will give the same value because it is updated. There are no two values, right? Now let us do one thing. We'll build and see if we are going to get any error for this one because it was not showing. It has to show. It used to show in 2012, but it is not showing. Still, it has to work because that is the only way we have. Rebuild. We'll see if we are going to get any error. And yeah, if we get error, I have to do some kind of investigation and come back. If we don't get any error, it works. I hope you are clear. The build is completed and it has to work. The problem is this Visual Studio kind of convention it seems because I never used this org in AX7. Possibly I'm kind of a bit confused in finding, but still the same is the case here. There is no change. Remember again, this dot org will give you the original value. This dot minimum balance will give you the value which you entered just now in the buffer. As simple as that. And never ever forget this org because based on this we are going to do the operation. So what are the things getting called when we try to do the update? You have three methods again. The first one is validateWrite. Second one is update. Third one is your AOS validate update. It all depends on what you want to do. And the next important thing is I don't have any record in my customer fixed account table. If you go to SQL, you can watch. If you try to select the record which is not there, you don't get any error. Don't worry, it will give blank. If you try to assign some value to the record which is not there, don't worry, you will not get any error. It will not do anything. It will assign the value. But if you try to update a record which is not there, it will throw the error saying, ma'am or boss, you don't have this record. You're asking me to update whatever is not there. I cannot do that. And it will throw the error. So remember, you got the point. If you have a record, you can update, you can delete. If you don't have a record, you cannot update, you cannot delete. You may get the error and you can create a record in that case, right? So it's up to you what you want to do. And for that you can do one more thing. I'll tell you one trick here. If the record is there, how to check? Cust table dot rec ID. If the record is there, then do this operation. What I want to do? Give the new value and update it. Otherwise, what I want to do? I want to write code for insert. You may ask, are you going to do this kind of stuff ever? Always will do the same thing. 50 to 60% of the times we'll do the same thing. We'll check if something is there. If something is not there, we'll insert. This is what we do. Okay, right? And I told everyone to do one thing. I don't know if they are doing or not. If you remember, I told you to use WebEx, right? Sharing should be, sharing is not required. I don't know, few people are leaving, coming back, and they'll have hard time. They need recordings for sure. And instead of that, you can use your own stuff, right? Anyways, you are getting all the recordings. So use this to grab your stuff, right? So, right, anyways, let's come back to update. What are the methods it will call? Come on, quick. Validate, write, and update. And the next one is AOS validate update. I was never expecting this AOS validate update. I never understand why it was given, because actually these AOS validates are required by AOS only. And they don't need to give us, but very few cases. I'll tell you, very few system classes or system tables, they wrote this method. Very few, because we don't want to restrict the code developer. And we have to give some freedom to the developer. Developer should be a Superman, not like swim with, whatever it is, tied your hands and legs tied. If they ask you to swim, it is not possible, right? So that's one thing. And anyways, this is how the stuff is going to work. It's going to call three methods: validate, write, update, and AOS validate update. I want you guys to just go and watch one, right? Now, there is one thing we want to see. The guys who are working on AX7.3 has got some problem in opening the table browser and watching this stuff. So I want to just come up with one form, designing one form from where you can work and you can insert the record, delete the record, do some digging. Only one form. Don't assume you learned whole forms with this one. I'm just trying to show you only one form, how to design a form and how to use that form. The people who already know how to work with the form, one form, just watch again because I'm sure you might have forgot. But here we are going to see only one form, right? And remember one thing, a best practice, the name of the form should be name of the table. That is best practice we are going to follow, unless it is transaction form. These are all masters, right? So the name of the form should be name of the table. I'm trying to open or create a new form, new item, and let us go ahead and pick the UI, user interface. In that you have a form, was there, I'm giving the same name as my table. Click on add. As simple as that. Add a new form like you add a table or any other stuff. Click on add. Done. We are going to get the form. Don't assume after getting the form, your form is ready. No, 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 no. And the people who already worked on AX7, so 2012, this is something different. The people who are masters at AX 2012, remember this is something different. It is not like your AX 2012 form, right? In AX 2012, we used to have something called as templates. We used to have 8 templates. The simple list page and sorry, list page. You are going to have master, details from transaction, and the simple list details, table of contents, and the dialog, drop dialog. These are the 8 templates you are going to have in AX 2012. I'm sorry, I was not able to remember instantly because I worked before 4 years back in 2012. Okay, and it's been 3 or 4 years I'm working on AX7. Before the release of AX7, 1 year before or 1.5 years before, I started working on AX7, and it's been 2 years or plus AX7 released. So I'm just kind of not able to recall a few things quickly. It takes time. Right. So in AX, we used to have the templates. Now we don't have templates. We call it pattern. Pattern is like template. Pattern is like template. But template pattern, there is small difference. In template, there are no hard rules. If you don't want to use some tool or some control or something, some layout, you can right click and delete. It works. But pattern, you have to follow. This is a rule based. If you don't follow, it will throw the error. As simple as that. Now, the first thing we want to do is in the data forms, in the forms, if you want to get the data, you have to add the data source. Step one. I'm not writing any steps because I'm going to teach you whole forms when we go to the forms. But the people who have hard time in working with the form, table I want to show them how to create a form and use the form for one. Hello? Hello? You are able to hear me? Oh. How is it now? Good or bad still? I understood. I think it should be good now. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. I think there is some network problem here. Quickly. Okay. Yeah. Good. 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 So watch now. The first thing you want to do is add the data source to the table, right? So now, how to add the data source? As simple as the click, drag, and drop, and keep on that. As simple as and you want to drag data sources more than one. You want to add 15, add 15.
Your voice is breaking a lot. I'm not able to understand.
Now. Okay. I'm trying to sort this out. One second.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello, great, thank you. I kind of fixed. Okay, we'll see how it works. And yeah, I'm back. Right. So cool. Let me fix this. Okay, chalo. We'll continue, and should be good now. Right. I'm sorry. I think there is some network problem. Quickly, I fixed. Okay. Right, cool. So let us, kind of work with this one. I told you like you can add any number of data sources. Point one, and don't add now. I just want to let you know, like, I mean, few things. There are a lot of things we need to watch before adding more than one data source, and just add one data source. And the second thing, whenever you see unspecified here, for whatever it is, you want to fix this. And the meaning is your pattern is unspecified. That is the meaning of this one. So right click and you will see apply pattern there. You have to apply some pattern. You see a lot of patterns, right? We'll speak about few of them. We may not speak about all, but we'll speak few of them, because if you watch here, a lot of things are repeated with small changes, right? Everything is repeated. Most of the cases, you'll see a lot of things repeated, right? I'll speak about one of them. I want you to try the others. And if you try all these things, you'll become masters. You'll become better than me. Okay. I never try all the patterns. There are 50 or 60 patterns, and I don't get time to practice all these patterns. Now, for now, we'll simply pick the simple list pattern to work with the stuff, and we'll see what all the things there with this simple list. Just click on the simple list, and you can watch there when I clicked on simple list, it applied the simple list pattern. Point one, and there are three missing things. There is one group, none. It is in black. These are in red. So what does it mean if they are in red? If you see here one dot dot n, the meaning is it should be minimum given or added one times, and you can add any number of times. N means any number of times. One means minimum one time. I cannot increase the screen size. You have to adjust. Okay. There is no zoom available. And you have 0 dot dot 1. The meaning is it is minimum 0 times, meaning it is not mandatory, but you can add maximum one time. Your footer is added only one time. We don't add 2 or 3 footers, right? So that's one thing you want to remember. Okay. It's 1 dot dot n or 0 dot dot 1. Sometimes you'll see only one. The meaning is you should add minimum one time and maximum only one time, not more than one time. So that is a rule, and you have to follow this rule. And what is this application bar? It is just your button, place where you are going to display buttons, and you can see the name of control in the brackets. It is action pane. Click on new, click on action pane, as simple as that, right? And if you click on this back, that is done. It's in black. The meaning is you added. Don't worry about adding more things. I'll speak about all these controls in detail later. The plan is to add some data and create a record, delete a record from the form. As simple as that. I don't want to do any more things, right? Now let us try to go for the next one. Right click. You have something called as custom filter group. It's a group. New. I want to add. What I want to add? The group control, because it is giving group, right? Let's add a group control. Group. And oh man, it is not, it is throwing there saying the pattern is not selected. So for which controls we want to add the pattern? I'm going to speak about this one later. But remember your group controls, like wherever you can add the other controls, in that case, you want to specify the pattern. The example is your form design. your group control or your tab page kind of stuff. I mean, even your tab page don't need, but yeah, still I'm just saying because you can add more controls into that. If you can add more controls into something, some control, it is called as a parent control or a group control. For group controls, you need to set the pattern. I'll just simply set one pattern. You have only one pattern here. That is my quick filter pattern. I'm setting that quick filter pattern. That should be good, right? And the next thing I want to do is, it is saying, boss, you are missing quick filter control in this pattern. So go and apply. I'm fine. I'll just apply that. Right click, new. You have a control called as quick filter control was there, right? And you may feel it very easy, right? So AX actually it is very easy. It is guiding now. In AX 2012 we never had this guidance. AX 7 we got this guidance saying you missed that, you missed this, etc. In AX 2012 if we miss something, we used to open the form, check the error, and then come back and apply the stuff. That is how we used to work. Now day by day, artificial intelligence is increasing here. Even if you type some question, it will show the answer. Now the final thing you want to add is a grid. Grid is used for displaying the data in the tabular form. Tabular form, remember, when I say tabular form, it's like a table, as simple as that. And if you want to display the fields, you don't have even a single field in the grid. So step one, in the grid. Now this is where people they simply get confused and they don't set few properties, or they don't drag some tables or fields, whatever it is, and they'll say I'm not able to see anything. So just drag and drop, right? Select the fields. You don't need to drag and drop this data area ID, partition, rec ID, table ID, all those things. They are system fields, not mandatory. If you want to pass, you can pass. I'm thinking you have breaking problem again. You are able to listen my voice?
Yeah, Kumar, it's
No.
fine now.
Okay, thank you. Right. So I'm dragging and dropping and done. We got the kind of stuff, customer ID, gender, everything, but it will not show the records. This grid, when you open on form, it will not show the records because it don't know from where it has to get the records. Oh, just now you dragged and dropped these, right? Why it will not know? I'll tell you why it will not know. But what's the convention? The table name underscore field name. Table name underscore field name. So that's why if you go to any form, check for some field, the name of the field. You'll see table name underscore field name. Looking at that, you will understand, okay, this field belongs to this table. It is table name and underscore is the field name. That is what you will understand here. As simple as that. So that's why we'll simply go to the form, we'll identify what is the table, we'll go to the table and we'll do some kind of investigation. I told you how to do that earlier, right? I mean, just a kind of quick stuff, but yeah, I'm going to show you again. Now let's go to the properties, and we want to set some property to get the data into the form. The property is the data source property. This is the most important property you want to set. You'll get the names of the tables there. Click on that and set the name of the table. As simple as that. Otherwise, it won't work. As simple as that, right? So now let us save and build, and we'll try to see whatever. I mean, we will try to create the record, delete the record, and we'll see how the form is going to work and how the UI is how the UI is there, right? So what's there again? I'll tell you how to create a form. It's very simple. Right click, add new item, and select the form from the UI. Step 1. Step 2, you get the blank pattern. Right click on this, apply the pattern, and the pattern should be simple list pattern. As of now, we have a lot of other patterns. I'm going to speak about lot once we go to the form. Till then, work only with this pattern, right? And the third step is, you'll see the errors here. Fix based on them. The first one is add the application pane. You have action pane. Add the action pane control. The second one is add the group. For the group, you want to set the pattern again called as quick filter, and you have to add the quick filter control. That is step 2. The step 3 is add the form grid control. You'll see grid. Right click on this design. You'll see new controls. Add the grid control, and that's done. Now this is the third step. After adding all the grids, after adding the grid and all the controls, your grid should have the fields to display. You can choose what fields to display. To do that, you have to add a data source to the form, drag and drop the table to the form in the data sources, expand your fields. You can drag and drop all fields, or you can pick whatever the fields you want. That is your step 4. Once you are done with this one, final step is go to the properties of the grid control and set the property called as data source. Otherwise, you don't get anything. It will display the names of fields, but it will not display any data. So that's why you want to set the data source of the form, right? So that's all from the form end, and we'll try to build and we'll try to see how the stuff is going to work. And to open the form, you have two ways, either from UI or set the startup object here. We'll see how to open from the UI later when we learn the menu items, menus, and blah 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 blah, whatever it is. Now we'll try to build and do the stuff, right? Rebuild, and let us try to open the form and see how the stuff is working. Do I need to synchronize? No, because there is no forms concept in SQL. SQL will store only tables, fields, indexes, records. So you have to sync if you modify anything in the tables, fields, indexes. Rest, you don't need to sync. Remember these points, including table methods. Now let me run this. I'm sure it's going to throw the error. This is again 7.3 environment. Okay. Once it throw the error, we'll modify that. I mean, we'll try to open that again. It should fix. It will ask for username and throw the error. Quick, yeah. Right, good. I know that. I'm not authorized. I know you'll throw the error. Oh, come on. Forward to the other page. Right. It is signing in now. Great. Signed. Okay, this is one-time activity in 7.3. Somehow it doesn't work. I think it is problem with the the test environment. I should not call as product problem, test environment. Okay, we got the free environments, right? So no one is going to take care even if we log a complaint. But 8.0 is fixed. If you try with 8.0, you'll see some good stuff. And you know now both the things. I just want to open the form directly because I want to show something interesting here. Come on. Right. Great. We got the form. You see there? And I mean, without asking for user credential, all those things, I'll make it a bit bigger. I think it should be visible clearly now, or we'll make it a bit bigger more. Should be clear now, right? I'm clicking on new, and yeah, you can watch here. We are able to create the record. I'll give customer ID 1001 and mail, and 5000 is the values, and the name is Mahesh, and pin code 500082. The system fields are not displayed, so I don't know if you can watch them or not, but still I'm going to the SQL. We want to see whether the record is created or not. I didn't click on save, right? So let us wait. It's VPB3 bank current account table, right? Why I'm opening the SQL? I want to show, like, even if you create from form, it will go into the table, sit in SQL. That's it, as simple as that. VPB3 underscore bank current account table. And what is the error? BANK. That's why it doesn't give IntelliSense. I was wondering why it is not giving IntelliSense. Chalo, I'm not good at remembering. VPP bank current SEC table. Execute. Select star from. General AX habit. Select will work in AX. Right? So there is no record. Let us save this. The record, it is saving. It is saved. Right. Now let's go back. Execute. And you got the record. Shall I add one more record? We'll click on new 1002 and let's go for 4000 or 10,000 here. Right? We'll take female and we'll give some name 400082 and ops. What is this? More zeros? Oh, why it is more? We deleted one and gave a space, huh? whatever it is, no worries. Save, and I think it is saved. Let's go. Right, so we are good. So the form is working. It's giving the kind of stuff. Was there the gender is 0 and 1 in SQL, but it is male and female in your eggs, right? So eggs is able to convert those things and show in the form of strings. But yeah, that's about your form. I'm not worried about this form. Now let's close. I was trying to show you how to work if you don't have table browser working, so that's why I'm trying to show, nothing more than that. Let us try to open the table browser. I don't know if it's going to show or not. If it works, good. Otherwise, we'll close. We'll not wait more than 1 minute. So what's there? It is throwing the error. And yeah, I really don't care this one. Let's not worry, right? So, right, good. We know how to create a form now. We know how to work with the tables, but we didn't know how to work with few methods here. We know all these methods. We know update and delete and all these methods, but we want to learn only one thing. I'm trying to modify a field value. Should I call validate write always to do the validation? No. What methods are called? That is the question. When you try to modify a field value, the first method AX will call is validate field. What is validate field? It will do the validation of one field value, right? So let's override. Oh, what is the problem? Yeah, stop this. Right click, override. You have a method called as validate field. I'm overriding the validate field method. Let me keep a breakpoint. I'm not doing anything. I'm not trying to write any code in the validate field. I want to check for which field this method is called. As simple as that. I want to check for which field this method is called. I'm going to modify customer account. I'm going to modify the minimum balance. I'm going to modify the gender. I'm going to modify zip code. I'm going to modify some other field. I want to check for which field this is getting called, right? Let's run, and we'll modify in the form because table browser doesn't work in my case. You can modify in table browser and check. But yeah, we'll just try to modify in form for me, right? In my case, we want to see what method it's, I mean, where it's going to call or it's not going to call. That is the point here. And oh, that is bad here. The breakpoint, it is not hitting the breakpoint. I think I cannot show. Oh, it is not loading the symbols. Again, this stupid problem, man. One second. Unless I run from here, it will not debug here. That's my problem. But still, it is not debugging here. It is not loading the symbols, it seems. You may ask how you know. I don't think it's going to work to show you debugging for this one here now. So I'm going to show you how to work with this one. But yeah, I'm going to come back with some stuff to show you debugging here. Or we can do one thing. We can do one thing. We can do one thing. Okay, let's do something here. Okay. Right, I think that works. Just 1 second. Let me close this. I'm coming up with one solution. Please watch. I'm trying to attach the symbols myself, right? Attach to process. I think it is already attached. I don't know if it's going to allow or not again. It is already attached here. It is not debugging, man. I'm sorry. I don't know, for some odd reason it is not allowing me in this machine. Shit, this is one problem. No. I got Saurabh. My solution is move to axite.o. There is no other way. This is happening more frequently. I know this. And this is only on test environments. You don't get this problem on LCS machine, and you don't get this problem on production machines or sandboxes, any of the machines. This is only on these test boxes. We have a lot of complaints from the customer, but Microsoft don't take that. The CSS guys don't take that because they are not LCS paid customers, right? And whatever we are giving for free, they don't have any rules and regulations to say you'll have some support or whatever it is. I'll tell you what is the problem. Please watch here. I have a problem with this one. It is not taking the breakpoint here. And if it is not taking the breakpoint, I cannot debug. And the problem is it is not loading the symbols. To load the symbols, I have some other way, okay, while attaching the process. But I'll have some problem there. I have to load a lot of symbols, and that's the problem. And it is there in the solution here. I don't know why still this guy is not loading. Let us try one final time. If it is not working, I'll speak about that. I'll write the code for that, and I'll show you tomorrow. But if it is working, we'll try, right? So let me attach. It has to load the symbols now. Oh no, I don't think it is working. Right, so I don't have a way. Okay, I'll kind of postpone this for tomorrow. But I'll kind of tell you how we are going to. We get it in paid boxes. Yes, you get the support in paid boxes because you are paying. Okay, how you will get support for free boxes? We are getting for free, right? People don't give. Okay, know the issue. I didn't get. You got the same problem in paid boxes also. Oh, then you have to log the complaint to the CSS guys. They'll come and fix. It is your right to bug them until it is fixed. That's the point. If you are not using your right, it is your problem. No, you should not get the problem. I want to know what is the problem. I want to know what is the problem. Is it user problem or is it like breakpoint problem? You can whatever it is.
Kumar, is the same problem that not hitting the breakpoint, like and
breakpoints problem. I'll tell you. We need to attach the stuff. Okay, I want to find out which stuff should be attached properly, and I'll come with this. But the user problem, it is there whole in the whole product. Okay, log a ticket. Those guys will come. They'll not fix because they don't know. That is the problem there in the product. They'll say we'll log a bug. They'll log a bug. People don't care because the problem is this a 7.3 is expired or about to expire, and they will ask you to move to 8.0 because 8.0 don't has that problem, and still people are in 7.3. So when you have something which is not having problem, they'll not fix. We had a lot of problems there. Trust me, we faced all these things. But yeah, still you can ask me what is the status of this bug, all those things. Okay, and yeah, they may come up with the fix. That is what I can say. The user problem. But this breakpoint problem, we have to attach some stuff. If you go to the kind of properties here in the tools options or debug attached to process, somewhere you should find the symbols. Not here, 1 second. I need to find in the options itself. I'm thinking options, debug, debugging. You should find the symbols, and it is just loading from this one possibly. That's why it is not taking the stuff, right? Let's remove this. Let it load all the symbols, or I'll specify some modules here. Add. We want to specify some module, but oh man, I cannot specify right away. We have to create a new folder and browse for the folder. Let's browse. Okay. What is the browse? What is the stuff we want to debug? The fleet management, right? I'm just showing because you have the problem. Okay, fleet management, and I think it should be in bin. Click on OK, and right, add this fleet management, and let us select both of them. Okay. Now let us try. It has to hit now. Load. Oh, still it is not loading. That is really bad. Okay, I'll check what is the problem and I'll fix this one. That is what I can do. And yeah, this is about the environment itself. I don't have anything to do. I tried all the ways, attaching the symbol also. It is not at all taking the stuff. So let me fix this, or I'll come with 8.0 because it should be easier for me. Okay, So right, we'll come back to this validate field instead of wasting a lot of time on the other junk stuff. And yeah, you know how to create a form, you know how to work with these updates and stuff. Now it's time for validate field. The validate field is called for each and every field. I want to show that in practical, but you know that doesn't work, or I'll try to move to 8.0. And yeah, I got your point. You have the same problem. How to fix that is the question. If the problem is there in the machine or environment itself, we cannot do anything. I'll let you know how to fix this debugging problem for sure tomorrow morning, right? First thing we are going to do is the same thing, then we'll move to the next thing. But this user problem, I cannot do anything, because you see here my user, I logged in with the same user, whatever I'm trying to use for my environment login. Still, it is not taking that user and it is throwing error saying you are not authorized or you are not using the right user. So we cannot do anything. If Microsoft is not passing the user from your Visual Studio to your environment, it doesn't work. And unless I open this in administrator mode, I cannot connect with the IAS and it is not working. So, you know, this is the communication problem between the processes. And even those guys, they didn't fix this. So you don't have an option as of now. But I'll tell you how to attach the process and I'll tell you how to load the right symbols. But you know, if loading all the symbols will take a lot of time, that's one problem. So we want to load the right symbols. I'm going to come up with that for sure, right? Tomorrow morning, we'll learn that, then we'll go further. But for now, let's understand this validate field. We don't write any code. We'll postpone this stuff for, you know, tomorrow. And I want you guys to practice couple of forms and other things, so that we'll, you know, go speed tomorrow and close the rest of the stuff and go to the table properties. We are going to see the table properties, few EDT properties and stuff also tomorrow, right? So now let's come back. The validate field method, it is validate field. Which field it's going to validate? All the fields. You change any field value, it will call validate field. So the question is, when I change any field value, if it is calling validate field, how I'm going to identify which field I'm getting? In that case, you have to watch something here, field ID to check. Every field is going to have some ID. It starts with 10001 or something. And if it is 10001, your first field, 10002, second field. In AX 2012, if you go to the properties of the field, you'll see field ID, right? You should see something called as field ID. But AX7, they removed that field ID because we don't need. We guys don't need what is the field ID. You may ask, oh man, if you don't need field ID, how you are going to check? You should never ever hard code with the field IDs. You should not say if field ID to check equal to 10001. You should not do that. Instead, you have to use a method called as field num. You have to get the field ID using the field num method and compare with your field, then do the validation. If you are not very sure about the field num or you are not confident about the field num, don't worry. For you guys, Microsoft came up with one more method. The method is validate field value. And this validate field value will give you the name of the field. It's not ID. You know the name, right? If name is customer ID, if name is minimum balance, if name is address, if name is account type, if name is minimum balance or whatever it is, simply do the validation. If underscore field name equal to minimum balance, check if it is less than 1000 or greater than 1000. If underscore field name is equals to account type, check if it is current account or savings account. Do your own validations, as simple as that, right? That's what you can do here. And this method is called immediately whenever you change a field value, right? Both the methods. I'm not speaking about one method. Both the methods, your validate field, the validate field value, both are called one after the other. Which one is called first? The validate field, then the validate field value. That is how it's going to call, right? I can show now also. I can display info boxes, but I don't want to do that. I want to hit them using the breakpoints, and I want to show you how the stuff is going to work, right? So let's hold one more day today. We will practice whatever is done. We'll practice all the stuff because we didn't practice a lot. Let's practice all these methods till, you know, CRUD operations, all the CRUD operation methods, and we are going to come back to the validate field. In addition to validate field, you have validate field value. In addition to that, you have modified field value. And finally, after validate field value, modified field value, we want to write our own methods, right? We have new method. It is not called automatically. We want to write our own method. We want to call our own method ourselves. We'll do that. And then we'll go to the table properties. Table properties should be small. And after working with these many methods, you will have good experience working with the methods in the tables. So we should be able to see, 5 or 6 methods tomorrow and complete this stuff. Right? Tomorrow we'll complete the table methods. I thought to complete today, but yeah, due to some, network issues as well as lot of issues, it was a bit while, but we'll complete all the stuff tomorrow. I mean, the rest of the methods, chota mota methods, and we are going to see some table properties. If possible, we'll say a lot. And, few table properties I cannot show you right away. I'll tell you how they are going to work. Few table properties I'm going to show you right away because we want to learn few things. And yeah, there are a lot of things to learn. We'll see how it's going to work. I want to ask you if you have any queries meanwhile. And